there's some hesitation about seeing the ending.
What if you have trouble remembering what you dreamed? Does that mean you're blocking something?
Well, I certainly had trouble remembering my dreams, and when I started out, it took me 3 months before I was able to remember one dream, and several months later before I was able to remember the second. One of the things they found in the laboratory is people have a tendency to roll over when they wake up, and when they roll over, they erase their memory for the dream because the dream memory seems to be stored in the bodily posture.
You're kidding. You roll over and you erase it?
Yeah.
Be careful when you roll over. All those wonderful, I mean, if Mozart's music came out of his dreams, if he'd rolled over, he would have erased a whole sonata, I guess.
Exactly.
Question, please.
I often dream of large bodies of water. Either I'm on a bridge, it's sometimes different colors. Sometimes it's blue, bright green, other times it's brown and muddy looking, and sometimes there's people in it, but I'm always surrounded by it. I'm never actually in the water. I'm always viewing it.
What are your thoughts on what that might mean?
Well, water is one of those symbols for which we can have many different associations, meaning the unconscious mind, or our feelings, like looking into the muddy waters and having waters clear up can be that our emotions are all churned up and then things can settle and clarify. Large bodies of water, perhaps you maybe experience the potentialities within you as very immense, and the different scenes and the different colors represent your mood or attitude on that given day about that part of yourself.
But just a body of water, that's not a universal symbol for something, is it? When you have...
Not one fixed thing. Some people will say that it's, say, for representing the unconscious mind, but also our origins in the sense that if you believe that, say, we were to evolve from fish in the water, all of life moving out of the water and onto land.
Mm-hmm. Tracy in Tampa, go ahead.
Hello. I had a dream. I was hit in an accident in a car, and in my dream I was hit on the driver's side, or the passenger side, excuse me, and there was a lot of woods around, and about 2 weeks later I was in an accident, and there was a lot of woods where I was hit, and I just can't understand.
Mm-hmm.
What is it you can't understand?
I don't understand why I'd have that kind of dream, and then about 2 weeks later it really happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are a number of things, I suppose, that are interesting questions. One, how is it possible to dream about the future? Another interesting question is, how come so many people dream about the future, but it doesn't help them prevent it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What good does it do to dream about the future if it doesn't help you prevent it? And that's known. I mean, Louisa Rhine, who is the wife of the famous parapsychologist J.B. Rhine, she collected letters from people who would have experiences like this. And I can remember one that was a rather poignant example of a woman wrote to Louisa and said, I had a dream once where I saw this house on fire and all these people being burned alive. The next day in the newspapers, there it was, just like in my dream. So there I dreamt about something, but I wasn't able to use that dream to help these people. I didn't even know them. A few weeks later, I go out shopping. I leave my husband home alone. He seems fine. I come back, and he's killed himself. Now, I had no dream, no warning about that. How come in a situation where I could have done something to prevent it, I had no dream telling me, and then in another situation where I couldn't have done anything to prevent it, I had a dream. So it's very mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could have all these neat answers for you, but we're just getting to the point now where maybe we might be able to get some support for looking into these questions.
Yeah. Well, let's take a break. I want to tell you also about some upcoming programs you might be interested in. We're going to take a look into the wild world of swingers. We'll meet victims of sexual harassment. We'll have a preview of the world's most unusual party with baseball legend Stan Musial, 50s rocker Joey D, and Laugh-In's Tiny Tim. We'll meet the former Dallas Cowboys coach Tom Landry, and a special show for moms-to-be, something for everybody. If you'd like to join us for any of those shows in our studio audience, there's the number to call. The tickets are free. Come join us. We'll be right back.
that, at least the 10% of the population have had those experiences. They've recently done some...
Go ahead.
I have a friend who's done some research recently seeing if people could dream about the covers of Newsweek a month ahead as a way of trying to study and verify that this does happen, and getting some very amazing results. And people do more than just see the cover of Newsweek. Sometimes they go into the magazine and talk about and see in their dreams things that will be, between the covers.
Now it sounds more like out-of-body travel and things like that. Who knows?
30 seconds.
Okay, who else had questions? There's some over here. Okay. Here's about the smoking thing.
Coming straight out from Oakland. Here we go.
One of the things that Dr. Reed talks about in his book is therapy sessions where you have one person come in and present a problem. I'm working on a problem. And then you send the whole group home. They all dream about this, and they all come back and try to help this person solve this problem. Can my dreams help you solve your problem? I mean, can it cross
Yes,
like that?
this is an experiment that came to me in one of my dreams, and it's based on the idea that we all have some deep areas in common. And that if a person was in sincere need and could ask a group of people, that the group of people, without even knowing their problem, could dream for them and come up with help for their problem. And we've done this many, many, many times. I've had other people try the same experiment. It definitely works.
Really?
You don't
It
need
works?
expert guidance to do it. I have teenagers doing this on their own, just in a group. See, I mean, because people do inside, if they're just given permission to, they know how to use their dreams, I think, to help themselves.
Because that's really the bottom line of what I get from your research, and that is we all have within ourselves the solutions to all of our problems. All we have to do is find a way to let ourselves use it.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It would be similar in this situation when people dream for one another. They don't know what the nature of the problem is, but the dreams show that there is an unconscious or an intuitive understanding of and knowing about the person's problem because it touches something within us.
Once I'll have dreams about friends that I haven't heard from in a long time.
Yeah.
And then the next day I'll get a letter or a phone call.
Sure.
They'll come over and see me. Is that like ESP or just?
We could
or
call it
people have said that
ESP. Yeah,
before.
it's a sense. I think it's a sense of feeling close to that person, and you're resonating with one another. ESP certainly has been the word used to describe that event, and many people have talked about that kind of thing. You think about a person you haven't thought about for a long time, and then the phone rings and it's them. I had one lady write to me that every now and then she'll go to call her daughter, and they'll get a busy signal, and then she'll put down the phone, then her phone will ring, and it's her daughter.
I have two things. I understand that our dreams are basically a result of our everyday activities, that we're bombarded by so many stimuli that when we lie down and go to sleep, we are basically, our unconscious has not gone to sleep. Is that true?
It seems to be that whether you look at the theories of someone like Edgar Cayce or a psychologist like Carl Jung or the laboratory research, that the dream state itself physiologically is a way of dealing with the day's events and organizing them in terms of our history. And if you prevent a person from dreaming, it's very likely that the next day they will show no evidence of the skills or abilities that they learned the day before. Like if I were to teach you how to spell some words and then that night I don't let you dream, the next day you wouldn't remember how to spell those words.
Or you couldn't let it roll over either.
Well, the dreams can do their thing even if you don't remember them, because if our survival was dependent on you remembering all your dreams, we'd all be extinct.
That's right. Dr. Reed is going to be holding a fascinating series of seminars here in the Bay Area this weekend. When we come back, we'll tell you about it. Ion Tampa Bay wants you to see Kenny Rogers and Eddie Rabbit. For your chance to win, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number. But hurry, time is running out. Here's today's winner. And we're talking about dreams today. Dr. Henry Reed, author of the book Dream Solutions, how you can use dreams to help you in your daily life. Let's take this phone call. Sarah in Tampa. Please be brief if you would.
Yes, I have a niece who is pregnant, and she has a reoccurring dream that after she's had the baby, she hears the baby crying, but they can't find the baby. And each time she has this dream, her roommate wakes her up because she's crying in her sleep.
Yeah.
And my question is, I suppose, why is this happening?
Well, there's an interesting book by a lady named Patricia Maybrook that talks about and has collected all the dreams having to do with the sequence of conception through carrying the baby through the 3 trimesters and giving birth, and the common themes that pregnant women have in their dreams. I'm not intimately familiar with that process, but one of the things I know is that there's a lot of concern among mothers that that the baby will, in dreams, that the baby will not be born healthy, and B, that they don't know how to take care of a baby, and be concerned about that. And there's perhaps some expression of concern in that dream. You should find Patricia Maybrook's book.
Go ahead.
I have this recurring nightmare where I know I'm sleeping and I'm in great terror, and if somebody doesn't wake me up, I die.
While you're answering, let's put up on the screen for everybody where the seminar is this weekend, and go ahead. Thanks for joining us anyway. And go ahead and answer this gentleman's question, because we've all had nightmares at one point or another.
Well, I can't tell you the Latin term for the thing that you're experiencing, but it's a form of sleep disturbance in which you're kind of, you might say, in a certain cubby hole of your mind in which you're both asleep and you're awake. And it's very unfamiliar in a way, and it's very anxiety-provoking to you.
And we'll have to go, and you'll have to answer it off the air here.
Okay.
But maybe he can help you out with this nightmare. Dreams and what they mean. Don't roll over. See you tomorrow.